Pakistan. Now, in a major order from the Supreme Court of Pakistan, the court has said that Imran Khan, the former Pakistan Prime Minister, should be released. In fact, the Supreme Court of Pakistan has declared that Imran Khan's arrest is illegal. Imran Khan, while being present, while in court, has in fact gone ahead and said that I was beaten in custody with sticks and that I was treated like a terrorist. All of these after just 2 days after he was arrested in an extremely dramatic manner. He was arrested from a court in Islamabad. And if we can show those visuals of how the Rangers actually broke open through the windows. They broke open windows to enter the court premises after the court refused permission for them to enter the court. These are the visuals in front of you of how the Rangers broke open the window panes to enter the Supreme Court premises and how Imran Khan was dragged away by the Rangers, the former Pakistan Prime Minister. And today, Supreme Court of Pakistan making some very strong observations in its order, saying that the arrest has been illegal, that no one can be taken away from the court just like that, and saying that he must be released immediately. These are very important. It's a very important order coming from the Supreme Court of Pakistan, even as there's been a lot of politics around Imran Khan's arrest. And I'm being joined by Imtiaz Gul, senior journalist from Pakistan. Imtiaz Gul, how do you look at the Supreme Court's order? Now, the Supreme Court has made some very strong statements. One, terming the entire arrest illegal, and two, saying he must be immediately released. Put this in context for us in Pakistan. How is this going to be seen?
Well, I think this was very much expected. And the summary proceeding that took place also reflected the illegality involved in Imran Khan's arrest. It was not arrest, and the words of Imran Khan as well as other lawyers, it was illegal abduction, basically from Ahmed as Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, and already made it clear before Imran Khan's arrival in the court that abduction from a court premises was not permissible at all. And that's why I think the entire proceeding lasted very shortly, with the result that the court ordered immediate release of Imran Khan, as well as also instructed the Islamabad High Court to hear the case and ask Imran Khan to go back to this Islamabad High Court, and most probably the Chief Justice will not be part of the bench that will hear Imran Khan's case, because it was the Chief Justice who had basically ruled the Imran Khan's arrest as illegal. So I think it's a big sigh of relief for everybody, and the Supreme Court has once again seems to have restored the balance, and this will also hopefully rein in and calm down the situation as far as Imran Khan's followers are concerned.
In fact, Imtiaz Gul, now that the Supreme Court has said that Imran Khan should be released immediately, can you confirm if the release has happened?
Well, it will happen shortly. There are certain legal procedures I think have to be fulfilled. He has to be basically set free as soon as possible, and the court also has basically told all the officials not to follow Imran Khan anymore and be allowed to go to his home in Islamabad.
Right. Imtiaz, you know, the Pakistan Prime Minister went on record just yesterday making some very strong remarks, saying that they have evidence against Imran Khan in the Qadir case, and that's why he was arrested. He justified the arrest, of course, not really explicitly saying anything about the manner in which the arrest did play out inside the Supreme Court premises. But how is this order of the Supreme Court also going to be seen politically, with Pakistan Prime Minister's strong comments on the arrest just less than 24 hours ago?
Look, I mean, whatever the Prime Minister or the ministers have been saying, it was very clear that Imran Khan could not have been arrested in a case which has yet to be properly investigated, in which the nature and scope of crime has yet to be ascertained. This arrest on mere allegations of a former Prime Minister, and that too in a very high-handed manner, I think was not warranted at all. And it was very clear that if the case came up to the Supreme Court, it would be quashed immediately, and this is what has happened. I mean, the case, of course, will continue, but his arrest, immediate arrest, has been quashed, and now I think the law will take its course once the Supreme Court has spoken. Thank you very much.
Right. All right, and these to just recap whatever has happened in Pakistan till now. Just a while ago, the Supreme Court made some extremely strong remarks, slamming the entire arrest of Imran Khan, the former Pakistan Prime Minister, as illegal, and saying that he must be released immediately. I'm also being joined by Yusra Askari, who is a journalist in Pakistan. Yusra, right. Right. Apologies for this. We have Mr. Ali, who's a political analyst from Pakistan. Mr. Ali, how do you really look at what's happening in Pakistan right now? How's the response of people, of the ordinary people in Pakistan to, one, the manner in which the arrest did happen in Supreme Court, to the absolute dramatic visuals that the world saw, and to what has now come as extremely strong remarks from the Supreme Court? How is Pakistan, the citizens of Pakistan, really looking at this?
The citizens of Pakistan are surprised. They are looking at this development with their fingers crossed, because the past 2 days been very problematic. There was turmoil. The daily life was had come to an halt. So they are surprised at this decision. But you know, they've got nothing to do with the arrest of Imran Khan, who are not his supporters, of course, and they are totally indifferent to this as well. But all they are worried about is the situation that the country faced in the last couple of days, and that if it triggers it again, it was slightly under control. Things were sort of softening up. Streets were opening. The traffic was allowed to move around. Now, if Imran Khan goes home and the crowd that he pulls, or whatever the support he has, if he again sort of succeeds in motivating them, then we are looking towards another week or so of rioting or of problems, because the government and the establishment is not going to let this thing go like that. You know, they're going to come back. They're going to come back with more cases, and there are so many against Imran Khan. And they now, it's not just a legal battle. It's a battle which somebody has to win to sort of take the country forward, because we are standing still for the last 2 days, and it's time to settle the issue of Imran Khan being overpowering the establishment, or the other way around, you know, the establishment doing something about the genie they have created.
Right. Mr. Mayed Ali, we'll just come back to you. But first, let's just listen to this reaction that's coming from the Supreme Court, a lawyer who's briefing about whatever happened inside the court.
नहीं रहे, ना पुलिस की कस्टडी में हैं, बल्कि वो चले गए इस वक्त सुप्रीम कोर्ट ऑफ पाकिस्तान की कस्टडी में। ऑर्डर नंबर 1। जो दूसरा ऑर्डर है वो ये है कि इमरान खान, उनके खिलाफ जो सारी कार्रवाई है उसको रिवर्स करके सुप्रीम कोर्ट ऑफ पाकिस्तान ने कहा है कि कल वो सुबह हाई कोर्ट में पेश होंगे, और हाई कोर्ट की कार्रवाई वहीं से शुरू होगी जहां पे आके उनको अगवा किया गया था, और आपने देखा अगवाकार कौन थे। तीसरा जो ऑर्डर है वो ये है कि इमरान खान अपने वकला और दोस्त उनमें से जिन लोगों को बुलाना चाहेंगे वो 10 या इससे कमोबेश लोग उनके साथ वहाँ जा सकते हैं। और जहाँ पे वो इस वक्त हैं वो कस्टडी सुप्रीम कोर्ट की है। वो दोस्त उनके साथ और वकला मशवरा भी कर सकते हैं और उनके साथ अगर वो रात तक भी रहना चाहें, कल सुबह तक भी रहना चाहें तो उनको इजाज़त दी गई है। चौथा जो ऑर्डर है वो बड़ा इम्पोर्टेंट ये है कि पाकिस्तान की तारीख में पहली बार सुप्रीम कोर्ट ऑफ पाकिस्तान ने तय कर दिया है कि मुलजिम कोई भी हो, उसके खिलाफ इल्ज़ाम कोई भी हो, वो एक्सेस टू जस्टिस के लिए जब अदालत में आएगा तो उसको गिरफ्तार अदालती प्रेमिसेस या प्रेसिंक्ट्स के अंदर से या अहाते के अंदर से गिरफ्तार नहीं किया जा सकता जब तक अदालत फैसला नहीं करती कि उसकी ज़मानत है या नहीं है, जब तक अदालत फैसला नहीं करती कि वो जेल जाएगा या वो घर जाएगा। ये पुलिस का, नैब का और जो बाकी मावराए कानून जितने भी इदारे हैं और जितनी भी डिस्पेंसेशंस हैं मुल्क के, उनके लिए ये प्रिंसिपल तय कर दिया गया है। उसके साथ ही ये प्रिंसिपल भी तय कर दिया गया है कि पुलिस का आदमी अगर जाएगा अदालत के अंदर तो अदालत की परमिशन के जाएगा साथ अहाते में। और उसके साथ ही अगर किसी और लॉ इन्फोर्समेंट एजेंसी का बंदा होगा तो ये जो शीशे तोड़ने वाले, ये जो सर तोड़ने वाले, ये जो उंगलियां तोड़ने वाले, ये जो कानून तोड़ने वाले, ये जो आइन तोड़ने वाले हैं।
And I'm being joined by Yusra Askari right now as a journalist in Pakistan. Yusra, you heard what the lawyer was talking about, what's happened in the court. So it's kind of a big win for Imran Khan with the entire proceedings now being reversed and all of it to begin again in the court from where he was literally dragged off with window panes broken by the Rangers. Yusra, can you hear me?
Far more than we did about 10 minutes ago. Basically, what we've been told is that Imran Khan will not walk free. He will remain with the authorities in the police line guest house that he was staying. 10 to 12 people from his own entourage will be allowed to stay with him, and they will be the only people who will have access to him till tomorrow. Tomorrow from 10 to 12, Imran Khan will appear before the Islamabad High Court. He will be provided the utmost security, and the Supreme Court of Pakistan has gone to the extent of saying that he will be their guest till he remains with them at the police guest house. So important developments coming in, whereas the arrest has been revoked and declared unlawful. We have seen that Imran Khan will not in fact walk free or return home to Banigala for the time being at least. During this interim time, will we see more cases being attached to him or all cases being brought out? One will have to wait and watch.
Yusra, these are important points that you're bringing out, but can you explain this to us? And for our clarification here, you're saying Imran Khan will not walk free when at a time the court has actually said release him immediately. So if he's not walking free, under whose custody and protection is he going to stay till he's going to be produced at the court in Islamabad tomorrow?
Imran Khan will remain under the custody and the security of the Supreme Court of Pakistan. The IG of Islamabad has been instructed to provide additional ramped-up security to Imran Khan till tomorrow. 10 to 12 close affiliates will remain with him during the time period. They will not leave his side. They will remain with him. And tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock, we are told he will appear before the Islamabad High Court. Tomorrow is Friday. Pakistan has namaz break from 12 to 3. So all the proceedings today are likely to take place between 10 a.m. and 12 noon tomorrow, which is when Imran Khan will appear in the Islamabad High Court. He will remain at the guest house in police lines where he was staying for the past 48 hours. Maha?
All right, Yusra, also the fact that you mentioned that he's not going to walk free, why is this happening when the court has said he should be released immediately? What is the reason that he's going to stay under the custody or protection of the Supreme Court?
The court has said they're extremely concerned about Mr. Khan's security and therefore would like to have him remain under their care and protection for the next 12 to 24 hours, at least till he appears before the Islamabad High Court. We do know that additional security has been requisitioned from the IG of Islamabad. An important development also, Imran Khan has been asked to tell his supporters to quell the aftermath, the backlash that has been going on for the last few days. He has called for calm. He has repeatedly said that no further angst will be shown on the streets of Pakistan. So clearly this does indicate to us that some kind of agreement had been reached earlier today. We were hearing from our sources at the Supreme Court of Pakistan and the Islamabad High Court that an agreement, an amiable agreement of some sort had been reached before Mr. Khan was brought into the Supreme Court of Pakistan earlier this afternoon.
Right. Thank you very much, Yusra Askari, for all of those details. We're continuing the coverage of what's happening in Pakistan. The court saying that former Pakistan Prime Minister's arrest was illegal, but he will continue to stay the custody and protection of the Supreme Court of Pakistan for now. Let's take a quick break for now.
Brought to you by 20 years since we started. This music has been with you. Now, we want you to share your version of it. Let your inner artists out by creating an incredible remix of the NDTV signature track. Log on to ndtv.com/best of NDTV. Get inspired and submit your rendition. One winner gets an all-expense paid holiday for two. NDTV 24/7 20th year celebration.
Gadgets 360 is here to help you with all your tech needs.
Gadget 360, Gadget Love.
Gadgets 360, Gadgets Love.
You too can get some gadget love with buying guides, expert reviews, and all the latest news on Gadgets 360.
When a glimmer of hope gave way to a new global threat, we were there. As our soldiers squared off against a hostile neighbor for yet another freezing winter, we were there. When brutality overwhelmed justice and a mockery was made of the rule of law, we were there. When the death of our first Chief of Defence Staff united our nation, we were there. Hope, justice, the truth. Left, right and centre with me, Vishnu Shobh, Monday to Thursday, 9 p.m. on NDTV 24/7.
This is NDTV. No noise, no shouting, and most importantly, no lies. Our lead story tonight. Big international story. India is closely watching it. News that informs and inspires.
The news with Sonia Singh. Monday to Friday at 8 p.m. only on NDTV 24/7.
The only side we're on is yours.
20 years since we started. This music has been with you. Now, we want you to share your version of it. Let your inner artists out by creating an incredible remix of the NDTV signature track. Log on to ndtv.com/best of NDTV. Get inspired and submit your rendition. One winner gets an all-expense paid holiday for two. NDTV 24/7 20th year celebration.
Gadgets 360 is here to help you with all your tech needs.
Gadget 360, Gadget Love.
Gadgets 360, Gadgets Love.
You too can get some gadget love with buying guides, expert reviews, and all the latest news on Gadgets 360.
When a glimmer of hope gave way to a new global threat, we were there. As our soldiers squared off against a hostile neighbor for yet another freezing winter, we were there. When brutality overwhelmed justice and a mockery was made of the rule of law, we were there. When the death of our first Chief of Defence Staff united our nation, we were there. Hope, justice, the truth. Left, right and centre with me, Vishnu Shobh, Monday to Thursday, 9 p.m. on NDTV 24/7.
This is NDTV. No noise, no shouting, and most importantly, no lies. Our lead story tonight. Big international story. India is closely watching it. News that informs and inspires.
The news with Sonia Singh. Monday to Friday at 8 p.m. only on NDTV 24/7.
The only side we're on is yours.
20 years since we started, this music has been with you. Now, we want you to share your version of it. Let your inner artists out by creating an incredible remix of the NDTV signature track. Log on to ndtv.com/best of NDTV. Get inspired and submit your rendition. One winner gets an all-expense paid holiday for two. NDTV 24/7 20th year celebration.
Gadgets 360 is here to help you with all your tech needs.
Gadget 360, Gadget Love.
Gadgets 360, Gadgets Love.
You too can get some gadget love with buying guides, expert reviews, and all the latest news on Gadgets 360.
When a glimmer of hope gave way to a new global threat.
Welcome back. And technology plays a critical role in advancing healthcare by providing innovative solutions to complex health challenges. These technological innovations are a step towards building a healthier India. Lakshya Sampurna Swasthya Ka or Health for All. May 11th, that is today, is National Technology Day. Team Banega Swasth India spoke to G20 Sherpa Amitabh Kant on the role of technology and what it can do in revolutionizing healthcare in India. Let's listen in.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kant, for joining us today. You've been associated in nurturing India's digital and startup ecosystems. Could you tell us the 3 innovations which you think can actually change the way healthcare can be delivered in India?
I think the PMJY is very important because we are providing insurance to 500 million Indians, which is almost the population of entire Europe and USA put together. So vast number of people go below poverty line without insurance. So that's a very big game changer. Secondly, the primary health care centers, that is wellness centers that are being created in India. And with wellness center, you are linking both allopathic and yoga, health, meditation, preventive care. So if you are able to provide good health care at the beginning, preventive health care, then you are building up a very healthy nation and expenditure on tertiary care will be much less. The third is pushing for elimination of tuberculosis in India.
India's G20 presidency is committed to universal, affordable health care. So when we talk about health for all, how can we ensure that, and what role can technology play in delivering this?
So health is a very important area for discussion right now. We are talking about digital health. We are talking about health and climate and how diseases emerge from animal, go to humans, then they have an impact on planet, they have an impact on climate, and vice versa the climate. And therefore, the Prime Minister has given us a concept of One Health, which is what we are working on. We strongly feel that health will be a very important priority for us during our G20 presidency.
The Indian healthcare system is innovating, and also the government plays a very important role when it comes to using digital technology. If I ask you something very basic, do you think technology can help filling in the gaps, whether it's the shortage of doctors or reaching out to rural India, and also that we have a very sturdy backbone of the Ayushman Bharat?
Most ambitious scheme of Government of India has been the Ayushman Bharat of providing health insurance. Also about digital health, that we'll build up a mechanism where everybody will be connected digitally and there'll be a digital identity for everyone. So every time you go to a hospital or you go to a clinic, you'll be able to digitally track all your records of the past. That will be a game changer, and India will be the first country in the world to be able to do this. This will be a major driver of change in India.
It's always a pleasure to have you with us. Thank you so much, Mr. Kant, for joining us.
This is NDTV. No noise, no shouting, and most importantly, no lies. Our lead story tonight. Big international story. India is closely watching it. News that informs and inspires.
The news with Sonia Singh. Monday to Friday at 8 p.m. only on NDTV 24/7.
The only side we're on is yours.
20 years since we started, this music has been with you. Now, we want you to share your version of it. Let your inner artists out by creating an incredible remix of the NDTV signature track. Log on to ndtv.com/best of NDTV. Get inspired and submit your rendition. One winner gets an all-expense paid holiday for two. NDTV 24/7 20th year celebration.
Gadgets 360 is here to help you with all your tech needs.
Gadget 360, Gadget Love.
Gadgets 360, Gadgets Love.
You too can get some gadget love with buying guides, expert reviews, and all the latest news on Gadgets 360.
When a glimmer of hope gave way to a new global threat, we were there. As our soldiers squared off against a hostile neighbor for yet another freezing winter, we were there. When brutality overwhelmed justice and a mockery was made of the rule of law, we were there. When the death of our first Chief of Defence Staff united our nation, we were there. Hope, justice, the truth. Left, right and centre with me, Vishnu Shobh, Monday to Thursday, 9 p.m. on NDTV 24/7.
This is NDTV. No noise, no shouting, and most importantly, no lies. Our lead story tonight. Big international story. India is closely watching it. News that informs and inspires.
The news with Sonia Singh. Monday to Friday at 8 p.m. only on NDTV 24/7.
The only side we're on is yours.
20 years since we started, this music has been with you. Now, we want you to share your version of it. Let your inner artists out by creating an incredible remix of the NDTV signature track. Log on to ndtv.com/best of NDTV. Get inspired and submit your rendition. One winner gets an all-expense paid holiday for two. NDTV 24/7 20th year celebration.
Gadgets 360 is here to help you with all your tech needs.
Gadget 360, Gadget Love.
Gadgets 360, Gadgets Love.
You too can get some gadget love with buying guides, expert reviews, and all the latest news on Gadgets 360.
When a glimmer of hope gave way to a new global threat, we were there. As our soldiers squared off against a hostile neighbor for yet another freezing winter, we were there. When brutality overwhelmed justice and a mockery was made of the rule of law, we were there. When the death of our first Chief of Defence Staff united our nation, we were there. Hope, justice, the truth. Left, right and centre with me, Vishnu Shobh, Monday to Thursday, 9 p.m. on NDTV 24/7.
This is NDTV. No noise, no shouting, and most importantly, no lies. Our lead story tonight. Big international story. India is closely watching it. News that informs and inspires.
The news with Sonia Singh. Monday to Friday at 8 p.m. only on NDTV 24/7.
The only side we're on is yours.
20 years since we started, this music has been with you. Now, we want you to share your version of it. Let your inner artists out by creating an incredible remix of the NDTV signature track. Log on to ndtv.com/best of NDTV. Get inspired and submit your rendition. One winner gets an all-expense paid holiday for two. NDTV 24/7 20th year celebration.
Gadgets 360 is here to help you with all your tech needs.
Gadget 360, Gadget Love.
Gadgets 360, Gadgets Love.
You too can get some gadget love with buying guides, expert reviews, and all the latest news on Gadgets 360.
When a glimmer of hope gave way to a new global threat, we were there. As our
Good evening and welcome. You're watching Newsbreak with me, Sanket Upadhyay. Our ongoing breaking news right here on the screen right now. Imran Khan has been ordered to be released by the Supreme Court of Pakistan. The Pakistani Supreme Court has basically declared Imran Khan's arrest illegal. The top court has ordered his release immediately. Imran says, and he has told this to court, that I was beaten in custody with sticks. He says that I was treated like a terrorist. Imran supporters immediately celebrated after the court order. The Supreme Court says that we want peace in the country. The High Court now has been directed to hear the plea against his arrest tomorrow. We have, before we go and introduce our experts and panelists to talk about what this means, let's quickly play in a reaction that came in from Pakistan from one of the lawyers.
वो चले गए इस वक्त सुप्रीम कोर्ट ऑफ पाकिस्तान की कस्टडी में। ऑर्डर नंबर 1 जो दूसरा ऑर्डर है वो ये है कि इमरान खान उनके खिलाफ जो सारी कार्रवाई है उसको रिवर्स करके सुप्रीम कोर्ट ऑफ पाकिस्तान ने कहा है कि नहीं रहे, ना पुलिस की कस्टडी में हैं, बल्कि वो चले गए इस वक्त सुप्रीम कोर्ट ऑफ पाकिस्तान की कस्टडी में। ऑर्डर नंबर 1 जो दूसरा ऑर्डर है वो ये है कि इमरान खान उनके खिलाफ जो सारी कार्रवाई है उसको रिवर्स करके सुप्रीम कोर्ट ऑफ पाकिस्तान ने कहा है कि कल वो सुबह हाई कोर्ट में पेश होंगे और हाई कोर्ट की कार्रवाई वहीं से शुरू होगी जहां पे आके उनको अगवा किया गया था और आपने देखा अगवाकार कौन थे। तीसरा जो ऑर्डर है वो ये है कि इमरान खान अपने वकला और दोस्त उनमें से जिन लोगों को बुलाना चाहेंगे वो 10 या इससे कमो बेश लोग उनके साथ वहाँ जा सकते हैं और जहाँ पे वो इस वक्त हैं वो कस्टडी सुप्रीम कोर्ट की है। वो दोस्त उनके साथ और वकला मशवरा भी कर सकते हैं और उनके साथ अगर वो रात तक भी रहना चाहें, कल सुबह तक भी रहना चाहें तो उनको इजाज़त दी गई है। चौथा जो ऑर्डर है वो बड़ा इम्पोर्टेंट ये है कि पाकिस्तान की तारीख में पहली बार सुप्रीम कोर्ट ऑफ पाकिस्तान ने तय कर दिया है कि मुलजिम कोई भी हो, उसके खिलाफ इल्ज़ाम कोई भी हो, वो एक्सेस टू जस्टिस के लिए जब अदालत में आएगा तो उसको गिरफ्तार अदालती प्रेमिसेस या प्रेसिंक्ट्स के अंदर से या अहाते के अंदर से गिरफ्तार नहीं किया जा सकता जब तक अदालत फैसला नहीं करती कि उसकी ज़मानत है या नहीं है, जब तक अदालत फैसला नहीं करती कि वो जेल जाएगा या वो घर जाएगा। ये पुलिस का, नैब का और जो बाकी मावराए कानून जितने भी इदारे हैं और जितनी भी डिस्पेंसेशंस हैं मुल्क के, उनके लिए ये प्रिंसिपल तय कर दिया गया है। उसके साथ ही ये प्रिंसिपल भी तय कर दिया गया है कि पुलिस का आदमी अगर जाएगा अदालत के अंदर तो अदालत की परमिशन के जाएगा साथ इहाते में, और उसके साथ ही अगर किसी और लॉ इन्फोर्समेंट एजेंसी का बंदा होगा तो ये जो शीशे तोड़ने वाले, ये जो सर तोड़ने वाले, ये जो उंगलियां तोड़ने वाले, ये जो कानून तोड़ने।
So that's one of the lawyers who was speaking outside the Supreme Court, telling us what the Supreme Court of Pakistan has ordered. Basically, Imran Khan's arrest yesterday has been reversed by the Supreme Court. It has basically held the arrest of Imran Khan, the former Prime Minister of Pakistan, illegal. The top court has asked for his release immediately. However, as the lawyer said and you heard, he's now in the custody of the Supreme Court and not in the custody where he was earlier. Imran Khan in the court has said that he was treated like a terrorist, though I think the government of Pakistan has made it very clear that his party, Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, is behaving like a terrorist organization and must be declared one. But those supporters started celebrating this court order. Now all eyes are going to be on the High Court, which is going to hear the plea against his arrest tomorrow. Imtiaz Gul is a senior journalist and political analyst from Pakistan, is now with us. Mr. Gul, can you please help us understand what is the meaning of, we'll have Mr. Gul back with us in just a short moment and try to understand from him what this actually means. How does one perhaps decode what is going to happen in the High Court? What is the appeal in the High Court? What will the High Court order? After this relief by the Supreme Court, what is the ambit of the judgment that can be provided by the High Court in Pakistan? All of these things are extremely significant. And also, more importantly, what happens to the supporters of Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, PTI, that is Imran Khan's party, who ran riot, went on a rampage and held the entire country to ransom in order to appeal for the release. Not appeal, certainly what they were doing was not an appeal. But what happens to all of that? There was absolute chaos in Pakistan for 2 days. The army is now has now been called in on the streets to stop incidents of arson and loot and even firing that took place in Pakistan. Mayad Ali is a political analyst now joining us. Let me ask you this question. How do you view these developments and what will be the ambit of relief or judgment that the High Court can give tomorrow?
From the developments that transpired today, I believe that the Supreme Court has just taken one part of the decision of the Islamabad High Court, that is of the manner in which Imran Khan was arrested. The second part, I think, has not been touched by the Supreme Court, and that second part will be addressed tomorrow. So as Islamabad High Court thought the manner in which he was picked up, the foreign Prime Minister was picked up, was wrong, the Supreme Court has gone to the extent of saying it was illegal. That's it. He is still in the protective custody, though of the Supreme Court watching the whole thing, but he's still in the protective custody and he will have to face that case regarding that Al-Qadir case, and that will be taken up tomorrow. So I think the government, which is not a big player, the establishment, in my opinion, will never let him loose after what happened in the last 2 days. And that was, I think, unprecedented for West Pakistan at least, because it showed some glimpses of 1971 when we got problem in the eastern side of this country.
But Mr. Mayad Ali, did the court mention anything? I'm talking about the Supreme Court. Did the Supreme Court mention anything about this, what the supporters of Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf did on the streets of various cities and towns in Pakistan?
I think Supreme Court, I was not there, so I will not give an eyewitness account, but as far as I know, I think there was no mention except for the fact that the Supreme Court has advised Imran Khan to calm his people down a little bit, who have created that unrest in the country during all that time. Apart from that, the Supreme Court has not taken any cognizance of the fact that the PTI, its supporters, Imran Khan supporters, the PTI leadership, the entire leadership, I would say, instigated the people to go for rioting in the country. And there are strong evidences, there are videotapes, there are audio tapes, and the Nadra is at work, and they are sort of rounding people up. And that will not be allowed in this country. And this time, whatever happened, whatever the Supreme Court has said, tomorrow is going to appear in the Islamabad High Court again. Apart from this case, yes, Imran Khan will not be let loose after the fiasco that Pakistan saw in the last 2 days. There is going to be a lot of hue and cry over this, and there are going to be more cases against the leadership. Already some cases have been registered and they've been taken into custody. More cases are, I think, in the offing.
All right, Mayad Ali, many thanks for joining us. We're going to stop for a short break at this moment, but back home, lots of developments, thanks to our Supreme Court as well, but political in nature. We'll talk about the situation in Maharashtra, what it means and how should it be decoded. Back in a bit.
is NDTV. No noise, no shouting, and most importantly, no lies. Our lead story tonight. Big international story India is closely watching. News that informs and inspires.
The news with Sonia Singh. Monday to Friday at 8 p.m. only on NDTV 24/7.
The only side we're on is yours.
20 years since we started, this music has been with you. Now, we want you to share your version of it. Let your inner artists out by creating an incredible remix of the NDTV signature track. Log on to ndtv.com/bestofndtv. Get inspired and submit your rendition. One winner gets an all-expense paid holiday for two. NDTV 24/7 20th year celebration.
Gadgets 360 is here to help you with all your tech needs.
Gadget 360, Gadget Love.
Gadgets 360, Gadgets Love.
You too can get some gadget love with buying guides, expert reviews, and all the latest news on Gadgets 360.
When a glimmer of hope gave way to a new global threat, we were there. As our soldiers squared off against a hostile neighbor for yet another freezing winter, we were there. When brutality overwhelmed justice and a mockery was made of the rule of law, we were there. When the death of our first Chief of Defence Staff united our nation, we were there. Hope, justice, the truth. Left, right and centre with me, Vishnu Shobh, Monday to Thursday, 9 p.m. on NDTV 24/7.
This is NDTV. No noise, no shouting, and most importantly, no lies. Our lead story tonight. Big international story India is closely watching. News that informs and inspires.
The news with Sonia Singh. Monday to Friday at 8 p.m. only on NDTV 24/7.
The only side we're on is yours.
20 years since we started, this music has been with you. Now, we want you to share your version of it. Let your inner artists out by creating an incredible remix of the NDTV signature track. Log on to ndtv.com/bestofndtv. Get inspired and submit your rendition. One winner gets an all-expense paid holiday for two. NDTV 24/7 20th year celebration.
Gadgets 360 is here to help you with all your tech needs.
Gadget 360, Gadget Love.
Gadgets 360, Gadgets Love.
You too can get some gadget love with buying guides, expert reviews, and all the latest news on Gadgets 360.
When a glimmer of hope gave way to a new global threat,
Now talk about the Supreme Court decision as far as Maharashtra is concerned. Whether the switch that had happened and a floor test which did not take place, what did that actually mean? So the Supreme Court has decided that Shinde is going to, the consequence is going to be that Shinde is going to remain the Chief Minister, and this is some sort of a moral victory for Thackeray. What did the top court say on the Maharashtra government? Here are some of those points. The Supreme Court says that Thackeray resigned voluntarily, otherwise court could have intervened. The governor was wrong in holding Thackeray, lost majority. Calling Shinde to form government, not wrong, as Thackeray resigned voluntarily. Can't use the floor test to solve intra-party differences. The difference between party not supporting the government and members being unhappy. Governor cannot use power not given to him. The governor is not entitled to enter the political arena. The court also says the governor can't play a role of an intra-party dispute, and disqualification issue now irrelevant. So the point is, from what the Supreme Court has said, is that at some sort of a moral level, and I want to introduce Professor Jyoti Wagmare from the Shiv Sena of course, for reference, the Shinde camp. And we also have Shweta Shalini of the Bharatiya Janata Party, Mahesh Tapase of the NCP, and Chandrasekhar Jha, who represents the pro-Thackeray camp, is also now going to be with us. But Professor Wagmare, would like to begin with you first. You know, even though this is, I mean, you continue to be in power, but what the Supreme Court has said, do you feel that, in politics, which is the world of perception, छवि का खेल होती है राजनीति, उसमें this message has gone out that what has happened may be immoral or incorrect. So moral victory for Uddhav, however you continue.
Am I audible, sir?
Yes.
Okay. I think that today's verdict, it is a victory of the Indian Constitution. Today's verdict, it is the victory of the democracy, and today's verdict, it is the victory of the Bala Saheb Thackre's ideology. Sir, I don't think that today, although I completely respect the verdict of the Supreme Court of India, because it is the apex judiciary system, but instead of that, I want to say that it is not the moral victory of Uddhav Thackeray, because today's verdict, it is a slap in the face to those who have forged unnatural alliance by flouting the mandate of the people of Maharashtra. I think Uddhav Thackeray, he has no right to demand Shinde Saheb's resignation on the basis of morality or to talk about morality, because we have to understand the difference that Uddhav Thackeray, he has deserted the ideology for the sake of the power, because the alliance of Congress, Rashtravadi and Shiv Sena, it is completely unnatural alliance. And Honorable CM Eknath Shinde Saheb, he has deserted, he dared to desert the power and the chair for the sake of the ideology of Bala Saheb Thackeray and Anand Dige.
Okay.
So I think...
Okay, yeah. Shweta Shalini of the BJP, how do you view this development? Don't you think that this will be presented as a moral victory?
What is the moral victory? I think, have you forgotten the time that the mandate was given by the people of Maharashtra based on the pictures shown like Narendra Modi ji and Bala Saheb Thackeray, and both of them were completely forgotten while the government was there. What is morality? Morality had gone to dumps when sadhus were killed brutally. What is morality? Morality was long forgotten when they were doing collections of 100 crore rupees through the uniform, which is supposed to be saluted and respected. Unfortunately, Uddhav Saheb Thackeray always had bad advisors, and that's what he suffered from. When he resigned, it was bad advisors. When he actually had an unnatural alliance, that time it was bad advisory. And today, what the court has actually said is that this government, which is the Eknath Shinde and Devendra Fadnavis government, is completely legitimate, legal and constitutional. Now, people can cry, but they have lost the battle and they have lost the people.
Okay,
this mandate comes from Supreme
Ms.
Court,
Shalini, I got the point of the BJP. So we have represented the view of the Shiv Sena, we have represented the view of the BJP. Let's now get in a view of Uddhav Thackeray's faction of the party. Mr. Chandrasekhar Jha, how do you respond?
See, it is a victory of ourselves. Today, we are morally very clear in our stand that whatever has happened before the Supreme Court is quite clear and understandable that this government has lost its moral ground to continue, and this government should not continue in any manner whatsoever. Now they are saying that there is no question of morality, there is no question of any kind of emotion involved, because it is a question of chair of CM. But if you see today what the judgment has come, it shows clearly the mockery which has been done by an unconstitutional government being run with BJP and Mr. Eknath Shinde. Now it is very clear that this government should go in any manner whatsoever.
All right, Mahesh Tapase of the NCP, do you feel, Mr. Mahesh, that perhaps there will be a sense now within the Maharashtra Vikas Aghadi that you guys can perhaps approach the next elections with some more force and some more teeth and hope for a positive result?
Well, let me tell you that my fellow panelists, ladies from the government side, don't seem to have read the entire 141-page judgment which the Honorable Supreme Court Constitutional Bench has just delivered. Their submission is based more on rhetorics and less on facts. I think they are trying to undermine that here the Supreme Court and the Constitutional Bench absolutely took the governor's office, the Raj Bhavan, and shook him, like saying that whatever the governor had done and on whose behest he has done, we don't know. But he had no role to be a partisan pawn and play politics from Raj Bhavan and bring down a popularly elected government. So this is one thing. As far as the 10th schedule of the Indian Constitution, here again the Constitution Bench says that the Speaker is well within its legitimate rights to recognize a group or to de-recognize a group. So here when our current Deputy Speaker and at that time Speaker Mr. Narahari Jirwal, he had sent notices to the 16 dissident MLAs. He was well within his rights and the Supreme Court has upheld that. Thirdly, what the Supreme Court here says that if at all the government has come down, the governor has acted in haste on the recommendations of letters which were written by 7 independent MLAs and the then leader of the opposition, Mr. Devendra Fadnavis. So we see that the entire office of the governor has been used to bring down the government in the first place. Second place, the Speaker's office was given a show cause notice earlier by the same dissident MLAs, trying to see that the Speaker there will be some problem with the Speaker, and so this is the kind of politics which was used by the BJP, which I think our deputies, CM and Home Minister accepted that he has taken a badla and a revenge. So today's judgment has to be seen in the light of as a landmark judgment, which governments of the future, which constitutional benches of the future, which the spokespersons and the legislators and also the chairmen of the legislative assemblies of the future will look upon to this judgment. Now here, the very chief, Mr. Bharat Gagaule, which was appointed by the incumbent government, he has been disqualified. So that means the initial person who was the chief whip, Mr. Prabhu, his whip will stand. Now when his whip will stand, again the ball will come to the whole thing. And one day, I do not know when that one day will come. Maybe just one day before the term of this current government. But the Speaker will have to disqualify the 16 legislators, including the Chief Minister.
Eventually that disqualification has to happen, but then we're going to wait and see what exactly happens. Thank you very much, Chandrasekhar Jha, Professor Wagmare, Shweta Shalini and Mahesh Tapse for joining us. In fact, there was another SC judgment today after the Supreme Court verdict. The Aam Aadmi Party has now removed the Services Secretary. The Delhi government has removed the Services Secretary. His name is Ashish More. Now, the reason why this has happened is because the Supreme Court settled a big bone of contention or a big issue between the LG and the Delhi government, where there was a unanimous Supreme Court judgment in favor of the Delhi government. The Supreme Court said that the Delhi government must have control over the services. The SC also said LG is bound by elected government decision on the services. The government control excludes public order, land, as well as the police.
अब हमें एक बहुत बड़ा मौका मिला है. दिल्ली का काम जो है अब ये 10 गुना स्पीड से होगा आज के आदेश के बाद. बहुत बड़े बड़े काम होंगे अब दिल्ली के अंदर जो सोच भी नहीं सकते. सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट है हमें एक ऐसा प्रशासन देना है दिल्ली के लोगों को जो कि रेस्पॉन्सिव हो, जो कि जनता की ज़रूरतों के प्रति सिंपैथेटिक और कंपैशनेट हो. तो अगले कुछ दिनों के अंदर आप देखेंगे बहुत बड़ा प्रशासनिक फेरबदल होगा. कई सारे ऑफिसर्स को, कर्मचारियों को ट्रांसफ़र किया जाएगा. इस आधार पे कि उन्होंने अभी तक कैसा काम किया।